So Brock Hepler setting the bar high. There's James Bubba Stewart as we get set for the 125 heat number 2. His mechanic, Jeremy Albrecht, in there, and Bubba, I think he's ready to go. As we take a look at our Thor starting grid, there's James Stewart, Steve Lamson, Danny Smith, Paul Carpenter, Josh Hansen's in there, as is Davey Millsap and Vincent Blair. Also, Tyson Hadsel's been showing some good promise today in practice. Cameron, who do you like?
Well, definitely like James Stewart. What I want to ask is, will we see the triple combination? We saw him throw it down in practice. Does he need to do it? He was the fastest rider in practice. We'll see what comes down here, see how his start comes out.
34 to sideways. This is 125, heat number 2 from St. Louis. Well, he's definitely in the top 2. Paul Carpenter has a great start. James Stewart goes to the inside, and Stewart goes to the front of the pack, and this is dangerous time for everyone else. Right behind him, PC Paul Carpenter, number 48, also on board the Kawasaki.
Oh.
So the 2 Kawasaki's are out in front.
Sorry, but looking there, watching right there on your screen, Daniel Blair almost landing on another rider. The triple coming out of those whoops. It's tough to get that triple. Daniel had the momentum. The other rider didn't. Boy, that was real close, but good racing. And James Stewart off to his own race of sorts.
So the Kawasaki's are out in front. James Stewart, your leader, number 259 out of Haines City, Florida, on the Kawasaki KX125. Team Chevy Trucks Kawasaki. We said that a time or two. Let's just talk about James Stewart. Cameron, watching him in practice, it's almost identical to a main event. He runs that fast.
He really does. He pushes it at all times, and I think it's smart because you want to run your race speed at all times. And right now, James just getting out front. His teammate is actually behind him, Paul Carpenter. And Carpenter running a new hairdo. He actually shaved his head, accidentally not getting the haircut he wanted. And so he decided it wasn't looking good. He decided to shave it up. And there's Carpenter running in second place. And the third place, Mike, looks like that's Danny Smith of the Boost Mobile Yamaha crew. And Danny's had some up and down results. I know he's definitely looking to put one down. Getting this podium tonight is really what he's shooting for. He looked confident in practice today, and he had some good things to say about the track as well.
As we watch them come through, this is number 48, Paul Carpenter, on board the Kawasaki. Behind him is Danny Smith, number 59. Smith trying to reel in Carpenter. Carpenter, who got a great start, ran right to the front with James Stewart. And we got red lights out, riders pulling off.
The red lights, you see those flash, and that means you can't jump the triple. You got to single all 3. And so those riders having to roll through it on that lap.
And we had 2 riders down there, and that was the reason for that as I was looking at the other part of the track. Meanwhile, James Stewart is way out in front. Paul Carpenter comfortably sitting in second. This is 125, heat number 2. We're going 6 laps, taking the top 9 to the main, the other 11 to the LCQ.
You see Carpenter right there and Danny Smith both doing that triple in the middle of that rhythm section. And the rider coming fast right now looks to be the 188 of Davey Millsap. You'll see him popping into your screen just there. And Davey's been looking for lines. He had great success at the last round of Supercross. And right now, he's looking to push it up. He wants to be on the top no matter where he's at.
Paul Carpenter out of Ithaca, New York on the Kawasaki KX250F currently sits in second place. On his right-hand side is number 59, Danny Smith, moving into position. And here comes 188, Davey Millsaps out of Cairo, Georgia on the Suzuki RM125.
Such a heralded rider coming in, a second place last week. That's where he wants to be. He wants to be in the top 3. He's had some hard times getting into it, and you see him kind of seat bouncing the triple and throwing a little whip there. And right now he's put some huge pressure on a guy that's definitely more veteran, and that's Danny Smith.
Well, Davey Millsaps was so heralded because he came to Houston already to race, and he was 4 hours too young, so he had to sit out that first round. But here's a 16-year-old kid with so much potential. I think a lot of people are saying this is one of the kids that's the future of the sport. We're going to step aside when we come back to St. Louis. More 125, heat number 2, as we take a look at Davey Millsaps. More after this. So what has Ricky Carmichael been up to besides rehabbing his knee? Well, courtesy of Clear Channel Motorsports, he tried his hand at Monster Truck. Check out the highlights when we... Last week, a legend on 2 wheels met up with a legend of 4 wheels.
Kind of intimidating, big old things, man. I'll tell you, they're raw power for sure. When I think of monster trucks, I just think of American raw horsepower, and that's what it is, basically. It's all American sport. I don't know what to expect. Like I said, I've never really been in one. I've seen them on TV and never driven one, obviously. I don't know what to expect until I get out there and drive it around for, you know, a couple minutes and get comfortable. Let me ask you this. Okay, when you're doing your donut, you just push it one time, right? Or do you hold it? No, push it over. You guys are my heroes.
Next week, in part 2 of Ricky's time behind the wheel, he takes on the baddest of them all, Gravedigger. Welcome back to the THQ AMA Supercross Series. You are watching 125 heat number 2, and Davey Millsaps from Cairo, Georgia is on the move. When we left you last, he was in 4th, made quick work of Denny Smith, and he just passed Paul Carpenter. And I'll tell you what, he is on some kind of parade wrap with the white flag out. Throwing some whips, and he's got to remember he is not winning this right now. It is James Stewart who's actually taking the checkered flag right now, the one-handed whip, and Stewart doing a great job in this heat, but I think Millsap's just excited with the way things are coming together for him. Had a great run at Daytona, we talked about, a 2nd place, and right now a good heat performance. When he starts putting it all together, things will start clicking for him, and right now it looks like it is. So Millsaps takes 2nd, Paul Carpenter will inch in for 3rd, then Smith and Hansen rounding out your top 5. But I'll tell you what, Davey Millsaps having a real good time. Here's the pass for 3rd, Cameron. Well, it looked like he just came through with a bunch of momentum. Carpenter not able to keep the wheel up all the time. And that's the pass for 2nd place. Millsaps looking back. He actually looked like Carpenter had to stay out of the way just a little bit there. So there are your official results. 125, heat number 2. James Stewart gets the whole shot and just checks out, but a great run by Davey Millsaps and Paul Carpenter. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie Little, who's with James.
All right, you guys, all I have to say is heat number 2 was 19 seconds faster. Now, James, we're talking about it. There's 2 races to go. They're saying, you know, if Brock finishes 5th and Sorby 4th, you could become the champion. Is it realistic?
You know, it is. It's definitely realistic, but, you know, trying to go out there and, you know, ride like anything like I did that week. That heat racing now. Feel pretty good. You know, I've been sick the last couple of days, so, you know, I'm having fun out here. The crowd here in St. Louis are awesome. Go Rams, and, you know, I'm having a great time out here.
All right, James, and you guys, I have an update on Eric Sorby. He did go to the hospital to get checked out. He was complaining of chest pain because the bike did land on him when he landed. They're going to check out his sternum, make sure there's no fractures, but I will give you an update when we get it.